I mean, look, I mean, it's safe to say, everybody can agree on this. We've been waiting for something like this for a very long time. I used to play Dragon Ball GT Final Bout and the Budokais and the Tenkaichis with the homies, and we always said to ourselves, it's like, man, when the hell are they gonna drop a 2D one? That's official, like in our era. I mean, they came out with a Buduten 2, Buduten Extreme and stuff like that. So like, it was always a tease, but it was kind of like hinting that it was coming. So it's pretty cool to see that it's actually finally here. I'm hyped about it for sure.
Yeah, the hype like never ends so far for Dragon Ball, and I hope it just stays that way. I hope this game has a very long lifespan. So, as far as you playing the game, who are your characters, and what do you like most about playing them in the game?
Okay, so my first team off the bat was Hit, Piccolo, and Vegeta. I was always a fan of Hit once he came out in that arc for the Goku Black series. The arc, so that was pretty cool. Chris Matrix actually put me on to Hit, and I was actually the catalyst that made me go back to watch the whole Super series. When I saw Hit, so I was like, all right, before I even continue, let me go watch the whole thing again from Super, from beginning to end, to where we at now. And yeah, Piccolo always was one of my favorite characters. He was always like a father figure, like to Gohan, so I always thought that was cool, and especially when he was evil before, in the Dragon Ball series, is before it went to Dragon Ball Z. And he was kind of like evil at the beginning too, but then Gohan changed him up, so that was pretty cool. And I always like Vegeta's pride when it comes to being a Saiyan and always trying to be that stronger person than everybody else. So yeah, that's basically. And then I play right now as well. I play Mystic Gohan. I mean, it's called Ultimate Gohan. Apparently, it's not Mystic. Uh, Mystic Gohan, Cell, and Vegeta as well. I mean, the assistance is that good. I like the characters, so those are my teams right now.
Okay, good
For
to
sure.
good to hear. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people changed a little bit, like up from like when like the game first changed out to like maybe now, like they found like maybe characters didn't go with their vibe, like the way that they play. Um, it's kind of cool to see people adapting, and then we clearly have a big influx of people who are playing Android 16 now.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
everyone likes to dunk, so.
Hmm. I like to dunk, and I don't even play the character, so it makes sense.
Um, so let's go back to Winter Brawl and ask, like, what was it like commentating there for Dragon Ball? Was that wasn't your first time commentating the game, or what was it like? How did that feel compared to like other times commentating, and how did it feel commentating Dragon Ball? I guess is what I'm
Okay,
asking.
so now I got you. So basically, I commentated with Chris Matrix at NOBC every Wednesday, and as Buddha Bro was building up, everybody's like, "Yo, you're gonna commentate top eight, right?" And I was like, "Only if Chris Matrix goes." So he wasn't scheduled to be a commentator, period, that weekend. I basically gave him a call. I threw out the bat signal. He's like a big ass Batman fan, so I threw out the bat signal, and I was like, "Yo, man, come through Sunday and let's handle this top eight." And he was like, "I bet." So he actually came through just Sunday, just to handle it. So one of the main reasons it was cool, it was because the simple fact that I got to do it with Chris Matrix, that was the original like partner in crime when it came to commentating, and he took a big break, getting real serious with his work and his workouts and stuff like that. And he's still stuck on Marvel too, so he was like going in the shadows, you know what I mean? And I was always chilling with him and stuff like that, but he never really came through to commentate anything with me anymore. So it was cool. It was cool, that he's bettering himself as a person and stuff like that, and still doing stuff that he loves. So that was cool. So then once he heard that Dragon Ball FighterZ was coming out, that's when he gave me the call. He was like, "Yo, bro, just know that we on that, and we back as the Road Dogs. That's our like team name." So I was like, okay, cool, let's get it. And then ever since it dropped, and then what made it even more beautiful is it's not like we hogged the mics or anything. Everybody was talking about me and Chris Matrix coming back to the commentary game as together as a duo, and then Dragon Ball was that game. So we was like highly considered from like all the stream monsters and warriors, and we just answered to the people, and then here you go. So that's why we've been very consistent with just showing love to that game.
Well, and the synergy was just great between you two. Like, I think it provided not just like the essentials that commentary needs to have, but it had that entertainment value that you hope commentary like provides you with. So I think everyone was very like amused. Like there were clips of it everywhere. It was very hype at its
Yeah,
finest.
absolutely.
So a big tournament coming up. Obviously, we have final round coming up this coming weekend, like next weekend. What what are your thoughts on it? Like, who other than the Goichi, I guess, Sonic Fox thing, are there any players that you think are maybe under the radar right now that you might see, like, go there and, you know, do something?
So, okay, so as I've been playing the game and, like, studying it and stuff like that, like, all I've been seeing is, like, international stars, like, you know, like Dagura, you know, Goichi, as you just mentioned. So I've been watching those guys play. And then, like, some new names. Maybe they're new to me because, you know, they probably play, like, past games like Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and I don't really recognize their names. But you know, some of these guys I've been keeping an eye on. But funny enough, the guys I'm actually interested to see play are the NRS players. So, like, when I seen my man Theo at top 8 winner, bro, I was like, what the hell? He made top 8? Like, what? And then it was just interesting to see how he approaches the game. You know, he's real defensive at NRS. And, like, he kind of bring that style a little bit, but he's just being a little more aggressive because, you know, that's just the nature of the game. You got to be a little aggressive in certain situations. So that was pretty cool. And then it's pretty cool because, you know, when I see Dragon Ball FighterZ, it literally has a mix of every fighting game that you know. So, like, you know, it's obviously anime style, a little watered down. You know, not to say that it's whack or anything, but it's just a little more simplistic, just so everybody could get into. So, you know, it has a little bit of elements of Guilty Gear, some Marvel, you know, NRS when it comes to the poking. You know what I mean? Like, you know, stagger your pokes and then you keep going and stuff like that. So they bring a lot of communities together, which is pretty freaking sick. That's actually one of the things that I liked about the game the most, is that everybody is getting involved. That's why that top 8 winner, bro, was so cool, because you saw people from DOA, you saw people from NRS. Like, it was sick, you know, to see everybody. So actually more interested to see the NRS players and obviously the Capcom players to see where they stand in the game. But I'm really interested to see, like, you know, Beyond Toxin. I ain't see him too much at Winter Brawl, but I heard he's good. But Dio really opened my eyes to see who else plays this game and could get to that top level. So I know Rico Suave's been playing it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
CD Manning, you know what I mean? So those guys, those are the guys that I'm really interested to see play.
I've been, like, going in, like, on, like, random days to, like, different streams and everything, and I've been seeing, like, Rico, like, labbing, like, Napa and everything. So, like, it'll be hyped to see him, like, play at a major because, like, you don't get to see that many Napas. I actually, yesterday, there's a local player, Heroic Legacy, who is an amazing, like, player at, like, different games, and he was, like, killing it yesterday with Napa on his team. He actually made top 8 at the Chicago Gaming Coalition. Ended up losing to, I can't think of the guy's name. Oh no, he lost to Wolf Crone. Okay. And then whatchamacallit, Toxin ended up taking the whole tournament with his team, but he, like, reset the bracket. He, like, was in winners until like semifinals, and then he got knocked down in the losers and then came back and won the whole thing. So it was pretty crazy to see, but his team's pretty good. He got, like, Goku Black, Android 18, and Vegeta. So he's utilizing that Vegeta assist that everyone likes so much.
It's pretty good, man. It's really good. Can't even lie.
But yeah, so I'm trying to think. Are there any other upcoming commentating gigs that you're allowed to talk about that are, like, tournaments you're hyped for commentating Dragon Ball at?
Well, no. So I don't know exactly what's gonna go on in final round. Well, I got some gigs, but I can't really speak on it.
Okay.
But it's final round is basically gonna set the tone, and that's all I could say. So, but yeah, I have you know, people are talking about the Goichi and Sonic Fox. I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't know if they want me to commentate it. To be honest, I just want to watch it. But if people want me to jump on, I jump on just for the love of it, so it's cool. But I actually just want to see it happen. But yeah, there's gonna be an event after final round that me and Chris Matrix are gonna be on, but we cannot speak on it. And then after that, sometime in the summer, we're gonna be involved in something really cool, but I can't speak on that either. I'm so sorry, I can't tell you.
It's okay. Hey,
because it's really cool. It's really cool, but you know, all I have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the audience, like, listening in, they'll just have to, you know, contain their hype for this and let it build up. So you're doing a good job at that.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, it's shout out to all the people, the Warriors and Monsters, to really support for what we're doing for me and Chris Matrix, because that is because of you guys, you know, giving us that energy to really showcase that energy back to you guys is the reason why we're getting these gigs and how we're getting involved is really because of you guys. So I really appreciate that, you know, a lot. So yeah, so I'm just here for the people, man. That's basically it, you know.
When did you first like get into Dragon Ball? Have you been into it since you were a kid?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So basically, back in the day, I used to watch it in Spanish. Back in the day, that was actually my first taste of Dragon Ball was the Spanish version, and then Toonami came around and stuff like that, and we was watching it in English in Toonami. We used to have these video game stores around my area where they used to sell the tapes, the movies and the sagas, and it was straight raw, like raw Japanese. We couldn't even understand it, but it looked so cool. That's like when we saw like the Janemba, the Broly sagas and stuff like that, the arcs, and we had no idea what the hell they were saying, but it was so freaking rad how it was looking. You know what I mean? We was just with it. I bought it. You know what I'm saying? I got my mom to buy it for me and stuff like that, so it was cool on VHS, which is pretty cool. So it's Dragon Ball is basically a culture, man. It's a lifestyle at this point because everybody knows about Goku and Vegeta. Like everybody knows, like, which is crazy. You got newborns now that are like 2-3 years old that I know that actually know about the characters, which is pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's something that really connected the hood, if you will.
Well, and if you like even look, there's like even celebrities that like like are repping this. Like Michael B. Jordan like was tweeting out about like Vegeta or something like that the other day because somebody was trying to hate on anime, and he was like, "Yo, like Dragon Ball is like the truth or whatever." So it's pretty cool to see like it doesn't matter who you are. Like you can be somebody who's maybe like maybe looks like a nerd, or you can be somebody that doesn't look like a nerd, and chances are you both like Dragon Ball. Like it doesn't matter. Dragon Ball has like no boundaries or limits on who it attracts. Like it kind of attracts like everyone in a way. But okay, so if there was, before we get into like the segments, because like I have little bits that I do on this with the guests, what character would you like to see added to the game that isn't already announced? Like, because I know obviously a lot of people are like, oh shit, I want Brawly. Clearly he's coming. But yeah, if there's any other character that you could have in the game that isn't in, who would it be?
Let's see. Pycon is one of them. Janemba. I like Janemba too. Let's see. Who else? Let me see. I was going to say Bardock, but yeah, he's already in there. Let me not lie. I was just thinking about the DLC. I didn't really want him in there, but yeah, I think Pycon, Janemba, I guess Jiren, and I think another big body would be in there that would complement the game. Topo. Oh, and more females. My goodness, let me get some Khalifa. You know what I mean?
Kale, right? Kale's another one.
Yeah. Kale's another one. Yeah, more female characters in there, for sure.
I was saying, what if they put Bulma in, but like as like a mech, like in a mech, like she fought in a mech because it's like Capsule Corp shit. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of like a way that Bulma could be in the game. Kind
of like Trombonish. I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. Videl for sure. Just put some characters in. I mean, you already got Krillin holding against his own against like Super Saiyan Blues in the game and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And Cell. So you might as well just put like Videl in there and make it pretty cool. But it's up to Bandai Namco.
Videl like held her own too. Like if you remember, like when I think it was GT when they did the World Martial Arts tournament, she had to play against Spopovich or whatever. She was like kicking his ass until the Majin shit like kicked in.
Yeah, it was the Majin Buu saga. Yeah, that was
Z.
Yeah.
Okay, that was still Z. Yeah.
Yeah. She got like a power level like 10 or something. Like she learned how to float after a while, like control her.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, no, for sure. Like. More female characters for sure. I forgot this girl's name from the Red Ribbon. Well, it was like original Dragon Ball. I actually forgot her name. She used to like just have like this bipolar thing where she'll just turn into a totally different person. Yeah, there you go.
She would like sneeze or whatever. I think she would sneeze and like turn.
Yeah, like something cool like that. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah.
But the top two characters for me would be Pycon and Janemba for me.
Okay. I like this. This is like one of my favorite questions to ask people, just because everyone like mostly like seems to have a different take on who their character would be, like if they could have somebody else in the game. So we're gonna go to our next segment. I'm gonna go to the Shenron's Wish. So this is a segment, Shenron's Gift, where I ask you questions, and there's 7 because of the 7 Dragon Balls, and we see how many you get right. And
I like that.
This week, we're basing it off of like the Saiyan Vegeta saga. So let's see how many you can get right. Oh my
God, I hope I don't get exposed right now, because I've been talking a lot of lore in the commentary, so I'll be very disappointed in myself if I don't know some of these stuff. So
yeah, you can't be a fraud, all right?
Right now, oh man, let's go.
Okay, so in the Saiyan saga, who is the person who removes Gohan's tail?
Piccolo.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
You got it right.
All right, make us. Woo! I'm about to say, like, yo. All right, go ahead.
What did Vegeta and Nappa come to Earth for?
The Dragon Balls. After hearing Raditz get embodied by my man Piccolo, and the scouter picked up all the information.
Now, bonus question. This is not one of the actual questions, but it's just something that popped in my head. What did they want to wish for if they got the Dragon Balls? Do you remember that?
They wanted immortality so they could have the thrill of battle forever.
Yeah, you got it. That's a good one. Okay, so you got 2 right so far. You're on a roll.
Okay.
Who blows themselves up in order to try and stop Nappa, but it doesn't work?
That is Chaozu. Rest in peace to my man Chaozu.
Yeah, poor Chaozu. And Tien's just left devastated, right? Like, that's his little buddy, so... Yeah,
with an arm missing and everything. I remember that. By the way, this is my favorite saga, so... And I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't remember everything. So I got 3 for 3. Go ahead.
Okay. What famous phrase did Vegeta say when Goku arrived to Earth?
Oh, his power level is over 9,000, but in the Japanese version, it was actually 8,000.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I grew up on the English, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, it was over 8,000, and I guess they spiced it up, just adding another extra 1,000. So.
I mean, why not? Just give him more power.
Why not? He was already over that anyway, so why not, right? So yeah.
All right, so that's 4 you got right so far, so that's really good. What special ability do the Cybermen have that they use to kill Yamcha?
Oh, they can self-destruct. Oh man, that's terrible. That happened to Yamcha, man.
Yamcha's been through the ringer, man.
Yeah, he's been getting washed. Even in the baseball game in Dragon Ball Super, I forgot exactly how he ended up on the ground, but he was in the same crater, same position. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's 5 right. We got 2 more to see if you can get all 7 Dragon
perfect
Balls.
7. Let's get it.
Who ultimately killed Nappa?
Oh, Vegeta. Goku finished him off. He wore him down, but then he got chucked in the air. I forgot what he said. It was like something about, I'll see you in the next dimension. Damn, I have to see that again. But yeah, it was Vegeta for sure.
Oh, yeah. And the 7th question.
God.
This is like one of my favorites. Who cuts off Vegeta's tail?
Yajirobe, the fat guy. Yajirobe.
You did it! We have our first winner of all 7 Dragon Balls. Yipes, you know everyone.
You know what, though? If you would have done, like, Majin Buu saga or something, you probably would have got me a couple, because there's so much going on in that saga. But
there really
I'm glad
is.
I got perfect 7, yes.
And you're like one of those people that I feel like not as many people appreciate. Like, I know I'm somebody who I'm more of, like, the Namek and then, like, the Android saga that I'm, like, a fan of. Whereas, like, I feel like the Saiyan saga doesn't get as much love. And that's great to see that you're a big fan. Also, that you got the Yajirobe question right. That's a character I'd like to personally, like, see in the game. Because he would be another sword fighting character, which I think would be sick for the game. And he'd be, like, a little dude. So, it'd be fun to see him. I don't know.
But yeah, no, the Saiyan saga is definitely my favorite for the simple fact that it started it all. And, you know, it just came in from Dragon Ball going into Dragon Ball Z. So, like, when Piccolo was still evil, scheming to kill Goku and stuff like that. I just like the story behind it because, you know, all it turned into really after that was, you know, people just getting stronger and stronger. But, you know, the humble beginnings is what really sets the tone to see how people really stepped it up. Like, to me, I still think Piccolo's the smartest fighter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just not as strong as everybody else, you know what I'm saying? So it's like little things like that, and I like Vegeta's original voice.
Okay, like
because it's Chris Sabat now, right? But that's like a different voice after I think it was the Namek saga. Yeah, the Namek saga, that's when the voice changed. So
I'll have to go back and listen to that. I never really noticed that there was a difference.
Maybe it was him, I'm not too sure, and he just changed his voice, but I remember he was sounding more sadistic, like back in the Saiyan Namek saga. So, yeah. But shout out to Chris Sabat, though. He's doing a great job, of course.
You know, we're trying to get him on the show.
Really?
I've done a tweet and pinned it, and people will retweet it, but Chris Sabat just doesn't reply. I don't know if maybe he can't be on the show, but I just thought it'd be cool, to try. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Like that'll be like a goal of this show to keep like continuing to pester on Twitter, tweets at Chris the Bot to try and get him to come on here and do some fun quizzes, test his knowledge, see if he can get all 7 Dragon Balls. But then that might be dangerous, Vegeta getting all 7 Dragon Balls.
I like that. That's bars. Okay.
So, all right. So the next bit we're going to the hyperbolic time chamber. All right. So you got this Saiyan hair that's on you. I'm going to size it to your head right now.
Oh, are you serious? All right.
Yeah. Hold on. If you stay front and center, I can size it to you. So you're almighty with knowledge right now is what you are. Like, so now normally like I'd have like people like maybe like talk about like if it was like last week I had talks and talk about like tips to get better at the game. We could do that with you, but I almost feel like people watching in that, maybe are trying to commentate better, that you're somebody that's very insanely talented also with that, because you're a good player, but you're also a really good commentator too. So if you're okay with it, I would like for you to spit some game in the hyperbolic time chamber to help people level up their commentary skills, like maybe like 1 or 2 tips that you think really can make a difference if they're trying to get out there and make something out of themselves.
Okay, so in terms of the game of commentary now, it's kind of shifted because to kind of get the bigger gigs or just the big gigs in general, for people that are aiming that high anyway, you have to be very analytical, right? So in my end, I already know that there's so many people that's being analytical with the gameplay, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's basically what's bringing all the new people and the casuals, and the scrubs per se to just come and play the game and understand that, and that's how we grow one of the ways to grow the community. The approach that I took was just to be myself, because I was always a clown. And I mean, since like junior high, just as far as I can remember, I was always a clown. So, I already know how to play the game. Obviously, I don't know too much of the analytics in terms of the frame data, exactly all the names of the moves. But what I can do for you is talk about the gameplay, exactly how it's going on, even though I'm not probably saying everything that's supposed to be said. Like, I just realized that I have to say numeric stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? So like down H now is 2H to me, you know what I mean? Or neutral jab is like 5L, like I've never really done that before, but I'm working on it, so it's pretty good. So every time I start commentating a new game, I always have fun and understand as I go while I'm commentating it. You know what I mean? Especially since I've played it enough, I know exactly what's going on in the gameplay. So and so basically I use that opportunity to see all this top level play. Like for example, I'll commentate at NOBC and I'll learn as I go while I'm watching these guys play, while I'm having fun, with my man Chris Matrix. I'm like pointing this way like he's here or something, but he's always on my left side, so it's pretty cool at NOBC. So the best advice I could give you guys is, don't let the pressure of knowing everything hurt your style of play. You know what I mean? Because what happens is people tend to get so analytical that they'll just start spitting gibberish, and then they're not even going to understand themselves what they're talking, and then they'll probably like lose a little bit of motivation while they're commentating, or or more so they feel like they're doing a little too much, So just learn the game accordingly and just have fun before you start thinking about getting those big gigs. And most importantly, hold down your local scene first. That's what I did. Back in when Street Fighter 4 came out, that was the first time I actually touched the microphone to commentate with Street Fighter 4, for people that don't know. And then, once Marvel 3 came on, I just didn't care about anything else, because Marvel 3 was there. So I just started playing Marvel 3. So I kind of ignored it a little bit and just started competing. And then I started commentating again. But, yeah, the local scene definitely helps grow you. That's kind of the same thing with Tasty Steve. For people that don't know, look how big Tasty Steve is on the commentary. He started at Super Arcade. And, he started out, being a clown, having fun. And he's still a clown when he really wants to. I think that's Tasty Steve's best attribute, is being a clown, and he could be analytical as well. But I think him being funny and entertaining to everybody is his biggest attribute. But, it all depends on who you with. So that's another thing. Duos is very important, So, I commentate with, like, people like Chris Matrix, Persia, Lee Chung. That's my man, 100 grand. All of them are good people to me. I always get a different sense of how I should commentate with certain people. So, like Chris Matrix, we could be random, mad energetic. Persia, I'll be more on the analytical side. And because she covers more of the analytical side, I could be more of a clown. So that's cool. And then me and Lee Chung, we just feel like we're in the couch just kicking and just talking smack. And then, since he's more of a clown, he's more of on the entertainment side, then I'll have more of a chance to be analytical. You know what I mean? So it all depends on who you commentate with. So because there's never been a show where you commentate by yourself, right? So you always gotta know the synergy that you have with the person. If you can't get that in order first, then it's not gonna work out. So always figure out the synergy of your partner. So those are like the best tips. And just have fun, man. Like, don't let it stress out. Like, commentary right now is at a point where you're actually getting paid for it. I'm very fortunate to be getting this gig because it's actually helping put food on the table, pay some rent, and, buy my mom some nice things from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's getting to that point where, that talent, that showcase is actually putting some money in your pocket. But in order for you to get to that level, I feel like you need to be humble and really learn and get the experience before you even think about getting these gigs. So like I said, like the local scene is very important, and don't be greedy, because this is the problem right now with a lot of commentators. There's a lot of hate going on, including in Dragon Ball. Like, there's a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot. There's a good amount of people that don't like the fact that I'm commentating Dragon Ball just because I wasn't part of the anime scene or whatever the case is. Now, mind you, I plan to commentate Dragon Ball, but I never thought I would take it this serious because, I was just planning to play it more than anything. Because what usually I do is the ritual would be I would play the game for a year and then I'll step up to the commentary. That's what I did with Street Fighter V and Street Fighter 4 and Marvel 3. So, but people was asking for it, man. Like, we saw a load of tweets, tagging NOBC, yo, we need Yipes and Chris Matrix, or Yipes and Lee Chung. Lee Chung took the route of learning the game first before he jumped on the mic. So, that gave that ample time for Chris Matrix and me to just reunite and really get it popping how we always did, So it's really because of the people we got in the mix, and because of that, we're sticking around. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So, just really work on your local scene, man. Just really work on it. And that'll definitely, especially, get acquainted with your streamers from your local stream to get you involved. And don't be greedy on the mic, man. That's the problem with a lot of people. Everybody want to jump on the mic. Yeah, I want to be a commentator. I want to be a commentator. That's cool. But just make sure you're really serious about it for people to take you serious. You know what I mean? Whatever your style could be, whatever it could be, you being funny, entertainment, analytical, just got to make sure that you're humble with your scene before, you jump on the mic. So that's like the best advice I could give you, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for that. So we're going to switch back to the main screen for a second.
Do I still got the hair?
You did have the hair. No, not anymore.
Okay.
You'll laugh. I don't know if anyone clipped that, but hopefully somebody clips it and like sends that to you just so you can see. Because I was like also making it like follow your head around and stuff like too, like as you moved. So it's like this like ghost Goku Super Saiyan hair on you.
All right.
So before we get into one of the last, actually we'll go into the last bit, and then the very last thing that you're going to do on the show is an impersonation. We have every guest do an impersonation. Like Tasty Steve did a Kamehameha, and Toxin had to do a Goku Rose tweet. So quote from him and do it in his voice as best as he could. So I think it just adds some hype and fun. But we'll do that last just because it's probably going to be really hype with you. The other bit that we're going into is called the Bulma Brief. So we have Bulma on the screen, and I'm going to just put up some tweets that I saw on Twitter that are Dragon Ball related in the meantime, and we can bounce off each other, just anything that we think about them. We don't have to like spend a lot of time on them, but they're just fun things, whatnot. But tweet number 1, we have, I wish Android 16 would gently hold me in his arms and say, down you go, as he submerges me 2 feet into the pavement and then reduces me to ash with his elbow guns. So clearly there's a lot of salt. If you look up Android 16 on Twitter, I think there's a lot of salt that you see.
Oh, yeah. Days. Oh, yeah. All right, so let me tell you why the character is OD, if you want me to break him down, right?
Okay.
First and foremost, out of scrambles, he could just get a conversion out of anything. Like, literally, he could just mash 5L, right? Look, I'm learning. 5L. And basically, you could just link it into some easy access to big damage. Like, literally, everything leads into a hard knockdown. Every combo you see, you get submerged into the pavement, and you have to take a 50-50. So that's actually one of the things that really make him good. And the fact that his standing heavy has body armor, his 5H, right, has a lot of body armor. So like you wouldn't even tell that it's a 5H until you get decked by it, right? Like you're trying to just poke them, and then all of a sudden you just get hit with the body armor, and it takes multiple hits on top of that. So it's pretty funny, you know what I mean? So it's like comparable to a meter burn, I don't know, from MKX. Let me see, who was it that took a lot of hits on armor?
I'm thinking more like Injustice, like Bane.
Injustice.
You got like Venom.
You go. Now, everybody actually had like 1 point of armor actually in MKX. No, but yeah, basically, yeah, like Bane, for example. So you could do freaking like Gohan's, for example, machine gun punches or his machine gun kicks, and he could literally eat all of it and just plow through you and just get a big combo off of it. That leads into a hard knockdown. So I think a lot of that is getting people triggered, because like it's either one, their characters can't do it like them, like Android 16, or two, they just do not like to guess a lot. You know, and Android 16, 16 is definitely the character that could put you in that situation every single time. So, but I can see people. But I mean, with more experience and just more, you know, time with the game, I don't think people are gonna be too pissed off about it. Maybe online, maybe when they play online, but maybe like in locals and like LAN centers and stuff like that, it'll be a little different. So I just give it some time. You know, I don't think it's that extremely broken. I think the only thing might be the hard knockdown at the end.
Okay.
Of all his combos.
You think if they tweak that a little bit, he would be more fair?
Yeah, I mean, he still has those limbs, you know, so, and he still got the stand A, so he's still going to be a good character no matter what. But I think the fact that people don't want to guess that much, yeah, I think that's what's pretty much ticking people off. And then just the random scrambles into a 5L, into just a hard knockdown. That's the name of the game, the hard knockdown. That's the word of the day. So...
Word of the day, hard knockdown. Take notes.
Knockdown, yes.
Tweet number 2, we have Theo saying, I swear if I catch any of you Kid Buu players whiffing 5M in neutral, I'll have a subpoena filed with the courts to place your neutral under federal investigation with no possibility of parole.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it looks like he never had experience fighting a Dalsim or something like that in Street Fighter. So, yes, the 5M is the leg that he extends and he reels himself forward, and then he can get some block strings, which is pretty cool because you can actually instant air dash and do 2 lights and then an M, and then you can still apply pressure, which is pretty nuts. But yes, you can actually just throw that out there in certain situations in the neutral, and you could get some offense going. So I can see why he's pissed off, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, that's Buu. He's supposed to be chaotic like that. He's supposed to be nutty. I mean, for Christ's sakes, his 2H is a freaking headbutt. Like he launches you in the air. He's supposed to be chaotic, you know what I mean? So I actually appreciate that he looks like that, and he causes so much chaos and destruction. Like, keep it. I like it, Theo. You just got to hold that, brother. Space it out. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at it. You know, and don't you got Android 16? You can just stand in H-Stack. You can just 5H that. What are you talking about? So you good. But, I mean, I guess he's putting it with assist as well, you know, so maybe that's why he's ticked off. Maybe he's just Pringles. Who knows? But that might be the reason, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And tweet number 3, we got Yohosi saying, now that I'm sponsored for video games, I get to use the express lane and the highway for free, and guac is free at Chipotle. This is a really good Go Tanks player. I don't know if you've seen any of her videos. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of attack. Yeah, like early on, the mix-ups off of snapbacks I was seeing, like it was really, I don't know if you could do it now because of the patch, but she had like some serious mix-ups coming in with Go Tanks on a snapback, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, she congratulations to her. She just got sponsored recently. I just thought that tweet was funny for anyone who's ever gotten sponsored. Like, you know, if only those things were free for people, you know, then everyone that's sponsored could be getting free guac for all their friends at Chipotle. I do wish the guac was free, me personally, but yeah, sorry for the cringe. But the last tweet we have here is Sonic Fox, and this is one that I wanted to put on here. At first I was like debating, like, should I put this on here or not? From the tournament last night, Frankie G from Chicago, he was on commentary for the top 8 for Dragon Ball, and a lot of people were really upset because when Toxin was playing against Wolfkrone, he was clearly, I think it was, he was cheering for Wolfkrone, and then like even got up to try and like coach Toxin or something. Like, this is like stuff I was read because I like left before top 8, and because they had the top 8 really late. But a lot of people were really upset, and like I wanted to put this on here from you as a commentary standpoint. Like, you know, you can't be biased to certain players. Am I correct? Or like, because it seemed like there was a bias going on, like him wanting Wolfkrone to win. So.
Well, it all depends on how biased you can be, because I mean it depends on the location as well. Like New York, if you got like one of our guys fighting somebody from like Seattle or Chicago, you know, and me and Chris Matrix are there, you're gonna hear it for sure. But you know, there's a line you gotta draw of like how crazy you could be or how disrespectful you could be. Oh, you're talking about commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, he was biased on commentary. I thought I missed that part. I'm sorry. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You know, it still sticks what I was trying to say. You gotta draw a line, because I tend to sometimes lose it myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen it, but you know, it all depends on how good the other person is doing. So, like for example, if I see Wolf Crone beating Sonic Fox like horrendously, you know, and you know, knowing Sonic Fox, he's in New York right now, even though he's from Delaware, but he's in New York right now, so you know, he's like repping us. And when I see Wolf Crone whooping his ass, I'll kind of be biased with the Wolf Crone. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll be more so on Wolf Crone side, I should say, because, you know, he's just kicking his ass. So I just got to really talk about it. You know what I mean? Especially if it's bad, you know. But, I mean, you just got to draw a line. You know, that just works for me. I guess people love it when I do that too. But you just got to draw a line. You know, exactly how you got to respect both players, especially in a professional setting. Like, if it's more of a professional setting, then I can see that you can't be biased like that. You know what I mean? Even certain, you know, gigs that I've gotten, they'll tell me like, yo, you can't be biased here. This is in the third. I'm like, okay, cool. You know? And they've said, and I know they've said that to a lot of other commentators as well. So yeah, you just gotta draw a line and just be respectful, be mindful of who's, you know, playing. Yeah, just gotta be a little more respectful, I guess. I mean, if it's a local, it's fine. But if people, you know, people are really sensitive nowadays, so you really gotta be careful, I guess. You know, on the Twitter side or the social media side, like anything will bother somebody, and then it'll just turn into a topic. So
yeah, you definitely gotta be careful nowadays. Yeah, so that's like all the tweets I got for today. I'm just going to flash the flyer for final round so everyone can be re-hype again on the Goichi versus Sonic Fox Battle of the Gods thing. It's hilarious. I still love this flyer. And then also I have a little Nappa that somebody did with that Patrick meme that's like going viral right now, like the menacing looking Patrick from SpongeBob, and they drew him like Nappa, so I don't know. I thought that was great. But we're almost here at the end of the show. Again, Yipes, thanks so much for, you know, joining us today, making time for us. You know, everyone in the chat has, like, really responded well. I'm going to give them a chance to ask, like, 1 or 2 questions before we let you go. But in the meantime, we can do your impersonation segment. So, you...
Damn, that's a
What?
Go ahead. There's a lot of them. Well, there's about 3 I could do, but I think I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you to do your best impersonation of Cell's intro in Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh. Damn. I ain't gonna lie, my voice is a little hoarse, so I gotta really get hyped for it. But I mean, I could give you something else. Can I choose something else? Damn.
I'll allow it.
Cell?
What would you
Cell?
Tell me first what you would like to.
I guess I would do either Vegeta or Android 16 when his head was on the floor. But you know what it is? I forgot exactly the lines he said, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. But okay. I remember his head rolled to the floor, and he said, he said, Gohan. he said, Gohan. he was like, Gohan, it is not wrong to fight for what is it, for peace? He was like, there's nothing wrong to fight for peace. Damn, I gotta remember exactly what he said, but there you have it. I'll give you that.
Okay, just the Gohan was pretty great though. Like you had like that robot voice.
Damn, I forgot exactly what he said. Like, there's nothing wrong to fight for peace and what you love. It was one of the two. Damn it, I gotta go back. Alright, but there you have it.
Okay. Yeah, the Cell thing I was just gonna try and get you to do like
Oh, he goes, that one?
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
There you go.
Bonus.
There you go. You did it. That's what I wanted. I wanted to do that, you know.
I got you.
Oh, I think Foxy wrote in the chat that it's like not a sin for to fight for peace or something.
It is not a sin to fight for yo. Shout out to Foxy Grandpa. Damn. Okay. Putting me onto the lore, son. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we we didn't have any questions really in chat from anyone. So, is there any final words you have before we end this podcast today? You know, anything that you want to say for people playing the game, or just, you know, something that you might have missed earlier?
Well, first of all, shout out to you for putting me onto the podcast. This is pretty sweet. I like the direction you're going with this, and I like the art that you bring to the table too. So, you know, me, I'm on Cell's body with cornrows, so that was pretty sick. That was a win to me. Very creative, by the way. I thought you was just gonna like put like a ponytail and call it a day, but no, you actually drew the cornrows on the body, so that's pretty good on the head. So I commend you for that. So, you know, so big ups for putting in work for the FGC. You know, there should be more stuff like this to get people to know the people that you like to follow. So that's pretty cool. You know, I commend you for that. Shout outs to everyone that got me involved in this Dragon Ball thing. You know, when it comes to the casting, like I said earlier, I wasn't really planning to go heavy on it because I wanted to play the game hardcore before I jumped on it. But now I'm doing a little bit more both, and it's because of you guys. So I really do appreciate that. And, you know, welcoming me and Chris Matrix in the mix, it's just that comfortable. You know, a lot of people have been saying that I have a lot more energy now with the commentary. I just think it's because I lost more weight, you know what I mean? And I just feel more energetic. So maybe that is. But you know what? You guys have been following me for so long, so you probably know more than I do because y'all been watching me for so long. So I really appreciate that for the encouraging words. And just shout out to the FGC, man. Just the world of gaming. You know, it's just looking so well, you know, with every game, you know. And Dragon Ball was just a nice little icing on the cake when it comes to the fighting games because, you know, we had all types of games like, you know, Tekken, Marvel, you know, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, you know, Dead or Alive, like, you know, all the fighting games that we know that we've watched, and that one icing on the cake, which is Dragon Ball FighterZ, bring everybody together, which is pretty freaking sick, you know what I mean? So that just like molded everything together, and you know, I kind of feel complete right now with how the FGC is. It's just more so how we're gonna move forward with the world of you know, esports and, you know, grassroots tournaments, and just exactly how it's going to grow, you know. So that's pretty much my concern, really. But, you know, as long as everybody's still enjoying what they're seeing and just, you know, enjoy the style of just video games, just the lifestyle of video games, you know, it's just going to benefit us more as a community. So just keep having fun. That would be the best advice I could give you. You know, if you're salty, sure, you know what I mean, but just don't let it take over you and
yeah, don't let the salt kill you.
Yeah. Don't let the sodium give you high blood pressure and really kill your experience when it comes to this FGC thing.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Yipes. It's honestly like a pleasure to have you on here. You're doing big things for the community. You've always been like a really good person, like to come up to and just like a friendly face to say hi to at tournaments. So, you know, you're very approachable, and, you know, I think that's a great thing for the community to have, especially like newer people coming in that watch your commentary and, you know, just people in general. So, you know, you're very appreciated in the community, and we, you know, everyone like watching and myself, thank you for your time.
No, appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, for sure.
All right, everyone. Make sure you tune in next Sunday. We'll have another guest, and, you know, check out the details on Red Ribbon Tweets and Twitter, and, you know, stay tuned. Make sure you follow whatever you want to do for the Twitch. You know, your support's appreciated. So thanks again, and, you know, we'll see you next week. Bye.